Hello and welcome back, friends and foes. Today we are starting a drug cult. In Rimworld, that is. So this is a voiceover, because I recorded this and realized I didn't talk through the entire thing, because I was focused, which is, a very me thing to do. Anyways, so we are here, and we are going to be building up a cult from the starting of one person. Our perfect human being, so to speak. Tilie has been genetically modified and grown and raised her entire life to become the leader of this cult. Now, this cult is, to be fair, not going to be very great to start out. We're just gonna kind of chill and see what happens. Get some smoke leaf, convert some friends, grow into a bigger cult, take over the world. The usual culty things. But as it stands right now, we are indeed going to be, just very simply put, building a starting base and getting some supplies ready. I did another temperate forest area, kind of in the mountains, with a river going through it. Didn't really do much past that as far as, choosing the location goes. We did start out with 2 Arctic wolves, both female, so Tilie may train them to be the guard dogs that she needs. The starting location is just north of a bit of a problematic area. There's a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? Insect hives just to our south. But luckily enough for us, later on in the episode, those are taken out by the cheap and glorious resource that is traders that come from other places. And their entire caravan came through and destroyed the spider hole, which is great for me because that means I don't have to do it later and sacrifice my subordinates, followers. I mean nice other people who live in my compound. I mean settlement. Yes, no, totally fine. Everything is going to be perfect. It's going to be perfect. We're going to build a new society, a society where we can live as free and as high as we want to. And kidnap and convert the local. I mean, no, that's not what I meant. Anyways, so we can see here that Tilie has successfully enclosed a small storage area, as well as a dumping zone, and is working on tilling the soil so that we may... tilling. The wordplay... it hurts some days. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and get started with what we're looking at here. And actually, I think... Well, yeah, so Tilly's working on tilling the ground and planting rice to start out with because it's the fastest growing food stuff available in the game, and it makes things go by real quickly. We expand our crops to consume to be most of the vegetables in the game in a little bit. But I think I need to go get a glass of water for my throat, so I will be back in a second, and in the meantime, please enjoy this time-lapse and music of Rimworld? Yeah. See you soon. And welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that brief interlude of musical. We are building out the base and having ourselves a bit of a central meeting area for the ideology and for our new religion. But that was briefly interrupted by the attack of a barbarian who, as you can see, I considered saving, but the dog was more important, and by the time I got around, he was already dead. So sorry. Then Tilie decided Tilie wanted to have different hair, so I built the styling table for Tilie, but it seems to be a bit bugged. Tilie would just sit there, and I swear I spent like 20 minutes waiting for Tilie to actually change their hair, but no, it was just the clipping noises of hair in my ears for like 20 minutes. Every time that little bar happened, it was another... It was insane. Even after I changed the hair, it did nothing. Absolutely nothing. So I ended up breaking it, and I'll just have to deal with the debuff that she has permanently now. I think that she can't change her style even though she wants to. But Tilie has a bit more important things. You may have noticed in that she performed a ritual. That ritual was the naming ceremony. She is now the leader of this ideology, which I think I called the Shaders. They're in seek of shade. The Shade Seekers. Something like that. Basically, it's a fairly wholesome cult, actually, as far as cults go, that is just centered around getting wicked high and enjoying life. Now, you may also have noticed somewhere in there that I set up research for geothermal, because I love geothermal power in this game. It is spectacular. But unfortunately, we didn't get that soon enough, so I just kind of put a windmill in there because I was tired of my food rotting. Started building an AC unit, which is a modded item that just lets you cool without the problem of dealing with heat, which is something I personally really like. I have never really liked the whole having to deal with the waste heat. Yeah, I know it's realistic, but I'm playing Rimworld for more of a fun enjoyment of a colony builder and the random stories that it generates, more than I am playing it for the like oxygen not included, which requires me to deal with everything, every single thing. Anyways, you may have noticed in that moment that we got a new colonist. The new colonist is actually, well, it takes her a little while to integrate because she's had a bad way. And here's that trade colony or convoy that came by and has killed the spoilers. They also killed a great deal of themselves and dropped a lot of their goods, so hey, good for me. I can't remember if I tried to save that guy or if he just died. But yeah, anyways. So what we're doing here is we're just generally building up the place and trying to make sure our new colonist is well cared for. Expanding into some lights. You can see that there was one spider thingy that didn't die quickly enough, so killed it myself. And then I decided to start mining down there because, hey, ran out of steel, needed steel, so gotta mine it somewhere, right? Finish the AC unit, which then eats up too much power, so I start thinking about building a second windmill here in a little bit. Which is important because it definitely needed to be built. But I think I'm going to cut here, and then I'll get back to you guys when the next big event happens. See you in a bit. And it doesn't take too long before we are encountered with our newest recruit. This is someone who is running away from something, so they're only here at the area temporarily, but they are here, and as such, I will put them to good use working for us. It has been a really hot summer. I think we get up to like 30 or high 20s, early 30s in the Celsius, so it's a really, really hot summer that we were experiencing this particular one, which is why you see the passive coolers in the rooms, because people kept getting heat stroke, and I kept having to put them in the freezer just to cool off. But what are you gonna do? Just expanding the power grid, given our meeting area lights, and I think eventually I move that up so that the bedrooms have lights too. I don't remember whether I did or not at this point, but this is also where you can see that we are growing heel root and smoke leaf, in addition to, after we gathered our several hundred or thousand of corn, or rice, I planted corn, which takes forever to grow, and, well, really, I'm not sure it's going to turn out so well. But we are at a good point. Like, legitimately, we're not dying horribly, and our starter person has become 2 with the temporary help of a 3rd. And I don't think we're going to have to really worry about this newfound society that we're building, because even though the new person who joined doesn't share our ideology, we're still having a pretty good time, like actively dissuading them from believing in their own, which means I believe that they're going to convert in the next probably couple hours of play, depending on the speed of the game. So I'm excited to see how that goes, and to see them eventually eventually realize that our way of thought is a much superior way of thought to the other ways of thought that they may currently hold. I believe that they're currently one of the randomly generated ones on the planet. It's like a techno cult or something. They're like transhumanists, which is super cool in and of its own thing, but I'm going very animistic in this particular one. And something that you may or may not have caught that I've been trying to build, besides the dance area, is I've been trying to build a big fucking bong for us to smoke out the whole goddamn room with. Should be a lot of fun. But I think I do end up holding a little bit of a party one of these evenings, and that party is just for us to have a celebration as a community and come together and enjoy a nice speech. Get a couple sitting mats down for some stuff and have ourselves a little ritual. It's good stuff. I don't remember what that particular quest was. I didn't really follow it much. You can see here that I'm like going through and seeing everybody's ideologies and whatnot. A little game hiccup there. I think it was going through an autosave cycle or something. Usually it gets a little choppy when it does autosaves. Or it could be an artifact of the compression that is used when it comes to the actual, speeding up of the game. But as they go to sleep, so shall I. I will leave you this evening the knowledge that Tilie, the perfect being genetically engineered to do whatever we need her to do, is building her cult on the Rimworld. Catch you guys later. Toodles.